Ah, yes, it was all good just 1 year ago. Well, maybe not good, but it was at least sort of better than it is now. Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump do not exactly have a normal president-speaker relationship.
Well, they're being very nice to her because they really, she's a mess. Look, let's face it.
And now this time, another temper tantrum.
This time last year, Pelosi had just officially regained hold of the speaker's gavel, but she was already tussling every day with Republican President Donald Trump. The president had just been dealt a loss by reopening the government with really nothing to show for it. Then there were threats to cancel the speech, disinvitations, harsh words back and forth, and the president even outed Nancy Pelosi's secretly planned trip to Afghanistan to visit with U.S. troops. Things were bad even back then, but believe it or not, it wasn't always like that. In 2018, Donald Trump said he and Nancy Pelosi had a, quote, great relationship. The morning after the 2018 midterm elections, Donald Trump, at least at first, struck a pretty friendly tone.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and I give her a lot of credit. She works very hard, and she's worked long and hard. I give her a great deal of credit for what she's done and what she's accomplished.
But 6 months later, just as the conversation over impeachment was first heating up, Nancy Pelosi went as far as to invoke a different I word.
I pray for the President of the United States. I wish that his family or his administration or his staff would have an intervention for the good of the country.
President Trump was quick to this totally normal response.
Crazy Nancy. I tell you what, I've been watching her, and I have been watching her for a long period of time. She's not the same person. She's lost it.
The Pelosi confrontation led the president to then say what will forever be known as one of the most memorable lines from a sitting commander-in-chief.
I'm an extremely stable genius.
Which prompted this quick response from the California Democrat. Quote, when the extremely stable genius starts acting more presidential, I'll be happy to work with him on infrastructure, trade, and other issues. Then, of course, who could forget this doozy? In October, a tense White House standoff resulted in the world's most powerful Twitter account tweeting out this photo with the description, "Nervous Nancy's unhinged meltdown." Not to be outdone, Madam Speaker within minutes proudly made that very photo the banner of her own Twitter page. That exchange reportedly ended with Donald Trump telling the leading Democrat, quote, "Goodbye, we'll see you at the polls." But remarkably, that wouldn't even be it between the two of them for 2019. Trump responded to Pelosi's impeachment vote in December with a scathing letter writing, quote, "It is a terrible thing you are doing, but you will have to live with it, not I, and you view democracy as your enemy." Until this year's State of the Union, the two had not even been in the same room together for months, and the rising tension between America's two most powerful people clearly not going away anytime soon. The president snubbed Speaker Pelosi's offer for a handshake to start the night, and then the rip heard round the world, Nancy Pelosi tearing apart her copy of the president's speech just as he concluded his remarks. Look, it's not like presidents and speakers always get along. Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich were famously at one another's throats for many years, including through impeachment. And while historians like to casually say that Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill knew when to put politics aside and have an after-work drink, bitter inter-party tensions still define much of their own conflicting policies. But crazy, unhinged intervention? This is definitely not like anything we've seen before in U.S. history.